Hello everyone. Today's topic is object oriented methodology. Now, is object oriented programming language, the basic concept of OOPs, benefits of OOPs, program paradigm, and features of Java programming language. After completion of this chapter, students will be able to outline the importance of object oriented programming language, then describe the basic concept of OOPs, differentiate between object oriented programming language and procedural oriented programming language. What is object oriented programming language? Object oriented programming language is a program paradigm which provides object based features along with inheritance, polymorphism and data binding, right? Which are object oriented programming language? Nowadays Python, Java, C++, Simula, Smalltalk, these are the object oriented programming languages. Next, I'll discuss about the basic concept of OOPs. Which are the basic concept of OOPs? First one is object. What are the things we see in the environment that is known as object? Object, it is nothing but it is instance of class is known as object. For example, if student will be an object, human will be a class. A student or an object consists of two things. One is its features, another is task performed by the object. Features means object, properties means its color or his name, roll number, mark, that is the properties of the object. Tasks performed by the object means if student will be an object, student can perform, he can eat, he can run, he can write, read. These are the tasks performed by the objects. Next one is class. Class is nothing but it is a collection of objects. Class is a blueprint that object follows. Third feature is data abstraction. Abstraction means showing essential things but hides all the implementation details. For example, whenever we want to download one software from the Play Store, at this stage we can get the exe file of the software. We cannot get the source code of the program. That's why abstraction is one of the features of object oriented programming language. Next one is encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but it is the wrapping of data and code into a single unit. Here the class is one of the examples of encapsulation. Encapsulation means one example, capsule. It is wrapped with different medicine. That's why it is one of the examples of or features of object oriented programming language. Next one is inheritance. Inheritance means when a class occupies the properties of another class, then such concept is known as inheritance. The old class is known as superclass or base class. The new class is known as derived class or subclass. There are different types of inheritance: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance in Java programming language. What is single inheritance? When a derived class occupies the properties of only one base class is known as single inheritance, right? Next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism, it is also one of the features of object oriented programming language. Polymorphism, poly means many, morphism means form. Many forms, that means one name can perform different tasks. In Java programming language, that is a concept that is polymorphism. Now there are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time polymorphism, another is runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means the deciding a function call during compile time is known as compile time polymorphism. For example, function overloading or method overloading is the example of compile time polymorphism. Next one is runtime polymorphism. Deciding a function call during runtime is known as runtime polymorphism. Example, function overriding is example of function runtime polymorphism. Last one is message passing. Message passing means data communication between among the objects. If there is no object, then data cannot be communicated. Well, I will discuss now the benefits of hoops. First one is code reusability is provided. Through inheritance, code can be reused. That means one program, the code of one program can be used in another program. Such concept is known as inheritance, or reusability is one of the advantages of object oriented system. Next one is code duplication is avoided. Third one is software complexity can be easily managed in object oriented programming language. It is easy to partition the work in a project based on objects. These are the benefits of the hoops. Now I'll discuss about program paradigm. Program paradigm, there are four types of program paradigm. One is monolithic programming language. What do you mean by monolithic programming language? The programming language which there is no concept of function is known as monolithic programming language. In this programming language, the global variables are declared. The statements are written in sequence. For example, that is one is basic, second one is assembly. Procedural programming language. In this programming language, the concept of subprogram was introduced. Example of the procedural programming language, that is the C, Fortran, COBOL. But in that particular programming language, only the global variables are used. Okay, and go to statements are used. The go to statement, it is an unsafe statement. If you use dash statements in a program without any condition, the program will be infinitely, and maybe the hard disk may be crashed. That's why it is a unsafe statements. Next, the programming language was developed, that is structured programming language. In this programming language, the concept of both the library as well as user defined functions are introduced, and both the user defined and primitive data types are introduced. The example of that particular language is Pascal, C are the example of structured programming language. Next one is object oriented programming language. Problems are divided into objects and it is not possible to access data freely. The example of object oriented programming language, some of the codes cannot be accessed by the object if it is written under the private section. That's why it is one of the features that it is not possible to access data freely. Data hiding is also possible, and it supports bottom up approach in programming design. In inheritance, one child class can call the base class functions. So that's why it is called what? Bottom up approach in programming design. Next, I'll discuss about features of Java programming language. Before going to features, what is Java programming language? Java, it is a general purpose, true object oriented programming language. It was developed by Microsystem Company of USA in 1991. This programming language inherits the features of C and C++. It has many features. The first one is what? Compiled and interpreted. In computer language, either compiled or interpreted language, but Java combines both the features, both the approaches. Both the approaches means it is compiled and interpreted. That means whenever we write the source program is compiled by the compiler. After that we'll get the bytecode. Then the bytecode will be compiled by the interpreter. Then we'll get the machine instruction. After that the machine can understand the code, and machine also produce results to the user. So that's why it is known as compiled and interpreted. Next one is object oriented. In Java, everything is in object. Without any object, the code of the class cannot be executed. That's why it is known as object oriented features of Java language. Portable. Portable means one program. One program can run in any operating system. It is also one of the features of object oriented programming language. Platform independent. Portable and platform independent is the same thing. Program written in one operating system can run in another operating systems. Distributed means the program written in one computer can run in another computer with the help of internet. Such concept is known as distributed. Next, it is secured, robust, architectural neutral. Architectural neutral means in C language, one integer data type can occupy 4 bytes of memory space. 4 bytes of memory space in 64 bits processor, 2 bytes of memory space in 32 bits processor. But here Java, only one integer can occupy 4 bytes of memory space, either 64 bits processor or 32 bit processors, right? Next, I will discuss how we can create a class. If you will define a class, then what is the syntax? First you have to, the keyword is class, then the class name, then after that you can, inside the class you can keep the instance variables as well as methods. After creation of class, then you can create object, and through that object we can access all the codes of class, or you can execute all the cursor. Thank you very much.